Key alert! We talking about everything. Stocks, mental health, growth, politics, sex, and the list goes on.
If you don't know, now you know.
Period.
Now let's get it all in perspective.
I had to believe in myself like never before.
Invest in things that you understand.
You finding the solution to become the greatest.
Now, it's time for the Moments with Mika podcast.
First name greatest.
And here's your host,
You know who's the plug.
Mika.
Let's go.
What's up? It's another week of the Talk Pit. I was about to say Moments with
I
Mika.
know it. I felt it.
You felt it.
I felt it.
And I am Mika.
I'm Rick.
And this is another week that we're trying to get you into the mindset of success. So today we're talking about some positivity, a positive mindset.
Or creating that positive mindset.
Yeah, which is like extremely hard to do. It's really hard to do. I don't even know a good way of explaining it.
It depends on where you sit on the cynical spectrum. Mm-hmm. If you are a heavy cynic, it is very, very, very hard to do. If you're a realist, it's probably really hard to do because you got to be an optimist.
Yeah.
You gotta see the world for all of the roses and the flowers, even though the acid rain is burning us to death.
Listen, and I'm about to say, and I'm like a reality person, so it's like I'm always hitting people with the realistically speaking, and going into things. But you can't always think that way when you're trying to be positive.
Right.
Sometimes it's like realistically things can be really, what is a good term that I can use? Things could be really nasty and ugly around you at that very moment, and you have to find a way to be positive.
The cup is half full. You got to be the cup is half full.
I hate the cup is half. I hate when people say the cup is half full because the cup is still at the halfway mark. Okay,
it's half full. It's still evaporating.
It's still at the halfway mark.
It
bothers me.
This cup is evaporating right now, and there's nothing going in. So actually, it's.
I guess that's the same
half.
thing we should say about the government's bank account right now. Like, should we be optimistic about that? Like,
look,
the account is halfway full.
I am optimistic. I have
a lot of faith that we're
gonna find somebody who can do this job properly, or
before
we die,
killed by the acid rain or the water that we're showering with, or the water that is kind of what we use to like get out of the
Speaking of this acid rain, like, is this not a motivator to stop sending this $1 billion over to Ukraine? One, Ukraine has already admitted that they are in a battle of attrition and they can't win. Like, when do you cut your losses?
But I guess that's the same thing as asking, like, when do you stop fighting a losing battle?
Well, if it's your battle, then you got to stop fighting when you die. But if you like across the street looking at them battle, like, you don't have to keep putting money on the losing side. That's like betting on a losing horse.
So basically, just take your L and just
you ain't gonna be able to pay that back. Let me go ahead and expect a phone call. I got you. Just give me a call when you need it.
I don't know.
And you in a little bit better position.
The government has never been like that though. Like, when has the government said, all right, we gave you this money, we know that you can't pay it back, so we just gonna go ahead and walk away? No, it's more to it.
Everybody in this country, if your credit score ain't right, the government ain't giving you no money. Check their credit score.
Credit score obviously right now.
Oh, it ain't right. No,
to say,
they just came on TV like, look,
crazy.
Check this out. They just expanded the front line. They are fighting us in the war of attrition. They got a lot more people. We can't win like this. We don't really know what we're gonna do, and we're gonna run out of bullets soon. That is a strong argument for, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and put this pocketbook up. It's a waste of money now.
I don't know. I don't know. It's a lot to really think about, and I don't get it, but I just feel like the government is doing this for a certain reason.
Let somebody else do it. Has anybody else stepped up to donate this type of money?
No.
Like,
not to us.
Like, we falling apart. Like, literally falling apart. We had the train derailment.
No, those are on purpose though. Like, we're not even falling apart. It's like they're causing this. Like, it's a cause and effect type of thing. Like, how many derailments have we had this week total? Like this week, the beginning of this week started last Sunday when we released our last episode. So if we go back, last Sunday was the 12th. Today's the 19th. So there has been more than 5. There's been 2 derailments actually in Michigan. They only talked about one of them, which is crazy. We have the one that's in Ohio. We had the one that was in, I believe it was in Texas. We had one that was in, I think, Mississippi. We had something that was on fire, a warehouse that was on fire in Florida, in Kissimmee, Florida, I want to say, but it was releasing toxic chemicals in the air, this warehouse that was on fire. We've had so many derailments in this week, so many toxic things that has been in the air, has been in the water, that it's not even just like, oh, by chance that it happened. No, they're doing this on purpose.
So
allegedly, in my opinion.
To reach out to Meek's conspiracy theory side, do you think it's related to the balloon?
I don't think that it's related to the balloon.
You don't think China knocking over trains?
No, I don't think that's. I don't think
You know what it really is? We use archaic technology and then put the most dangerous stuff on top of it. Like, in other countries, the train has evolved tremendously.
Mm-hmm.
Like, China has the super high rail. Like, this thing moves like
super
stupid
fast.
fast.
I saw that.
Like, stupid fast. Like, you going across the country in minutes. But, like, we're still using the same, like, we just above the steam engine. We're just slightly above the steam engine right now. We're still using, like, the same tracks that they slightly upgrade. And then we put chemicals on top of it. I don't really think that's the best decision.
No, see, I don't know. I think, I don't know. Because I'm not a person that's, like, super trusting type of thing or type of person, I don't think that this is being done by China. I think that this is an elaborate plan by the government. One is to also, get us into a state where we're going to need the government, because a lot of people are not prepared. A lot of people don't know how to clean their own water because the government has been doing it for us for years. They haven't really, in school, they never really educated us on, like, how to create our own irrigation system, but they did elaborate a little bit sometimes in, like, certain history classes. But I think that this is all a plan for us to be dependent on the government, because if we don't have any crops, because the rain right now is eating up the crops, a lot of the fields are on fire, a lot of the food that they were giving to the animals were filled with something that was killing a lot of the animals that they have not been sharing. So it's like, if we can't consume a lot of the foods that we've been consuming, and we can't consume the water because the water is not good, and we can't really shower in the water pretty soon probably, it's like we're going to need to depend on the government to release or do something to help us. And I think this is all a part of a plan to get us to really need the government.
And you know what? You may be very accurate with that, because you also sent me that bill earlier this week where the government is also, someone made a proposal to get rid of the Board of Education.
Which is crazy. And you know what? Here's my thing about that. And then we can get into the show, because I know we're almost at the 10-minute mark. But here's my thing about the educational system. I believe, like, and I said this a couple shows ago, how I believe that they don't want us to be educated. Like, you know how back in the day in slavery, they did not want us to read because of how much power you can get from reading.
Right.
I believe that if they stop, they wouldn't stop education completely. I believe that they would just have a system in place where people would have to go to charter schools and private schools, and that way the money
forced to rigorously self-train.
Yeah.
Because
I don't think
you would need to take a test to get, like, any credentials, but there's no real structure. It would be like the Board of Education creates structure.
It kind of do,
for
but
what they
when
need
you
to
have
learn.
a private school or you're in a charter school, they kind of make their own, like, rules a lot. So, but those are also systems where the parents have to pay. Like, they have to pay for their kids to go to this school. So I think it's going to get to a point where people are going to have to put their kids in charter and private schools, and it's going to have to come out of their pocket. And if people cannot afford it, there will not be public schools.
And
so it's like
education level will be super flip-flop.
It would, and then that will cause people to have to take low-paying jobs because they don't have the education for it, but maybe they have, like, the experience, or maybe they've seen people so they know different things, but they would have to take low-paying jobs. So then that also brings into a point of how you're going to buy a home. and how you're going to do certain things, because you're not going to be able to have a lot of money. So that's where the tiny homes come into play, right? Because if you get a tiny home on top of, different type of tiny homes, it's like they're going to have a controlled way for you to be able to live. This is all a part of something a lot bigger that I'm starting to see.
This happened before.
Yeah, it has happened before.
It's called slavery.
But they're not going to call it slavery this
No,
time.
no. This time it's just going to be you can do what you can afford. And if you can't read the contract, then, hey, this is what you signed up for.
Yeah, most people don't read terms and agreements of anything. I mean, I don't read the terms and agreements. I just go ahead and press agree. But I think it's going to become a day where you are going to have to be able to educate yourself. That's my positive way of looking at it, is that I'm just going to have to keep on self-governing myself and make sure that I keep myself learning, because they're not going to force you to learn anything.
Well, think about this. Like I said, back in the past, and hey, this could be my fun fact for Black History. You had a lot of people who were former slaves or who were slaves, i.e. George Washington Carver, who didn't have like a traditional education, but like Black people are genetically smart. Like they just know stuff. And when you see people like that who were inventors and who solved problems that were in their day-to-day life, because hey, I do this every day, so I figured out how to make it better for myself. Like, stopping an educational system that is what you would call equal wouldn't really affect us in the same way. It would slow us down dramatically, definitely. But after we make the adjustment, like, we would still prosper.
I don't know.
The Black Bottom came from a bunch of moderately educated people, and it created one of the most flourishing cities in the country.
I think it'd be a lot different this time though, because it's like our youth right now, like if they don't have anything to do, they gonna find something to do.
So
yeah,
it's
we
do have
like,
TikTok and
yeah, I mean you do have
socials
TikTok and
to keep
different things
people
like that,
separate.
but it's like if they're not going to school, what are they gonna do? Because listen to me, if it's a low income home, right, and let's say this person has 3 kids, right, you can't stay home to take care of your kids and teach your kids and also make a living and go to work.
Oh, facts.
Everybody is not going to have at-home jobs. Some people are going to have to work in the public, and the people that's going to have to work in the public is the people that don't have the proper education for certain positions. And even if you have the education for certain positions, you're still going to have to work in the public and do certain meetings and different things.
Right.
So that's where it's going to cause, I'm not going to say more crime, but it's going to be more trouble, because it's like, no kid want to just stay in the house.
Oh, initially, definitely it will cause more crime.
I didn't want to stay in the house. I didn't want to do anything. So it's like, it's kind of scary, because it's like when you don't have anything to do and you have an idle mind and you're a kid, you're not going to think everything all the way through. You're going to do certain things that you see on TikTok. You're going to do trends. I remember that one trend where people was standing against the wall and they was pressing each other's chest in and holding their breath and getting a high from it, and people were just passing out because it was like their brain wasn't getting enough oxygen into them. That it was fun, but it was like super dangerous, and I'm scared like stuff like that is gonna start happening again. Remember bath salts, when people was smoking bath salts to see how
you know
it
what?
was?
They've done that all the time. Bath salts, incense. Was that K9? Had people out here losing their mind.
They was eating each other's face. Like, it was too much going on, but it's like, I'm trying to be, and this is, I guess that's a part of the show, because it's like, when you think about the future and you think about the way that things are going, and it seems like it's going to be going, you have to be positive about it. Like, you got to find some type of positivity. And I guess my positivity part would be like, throughout all of this, you got to be able to train the people that's around you and teach the people that's around you. Because if they're not going to get the proper education, if they do go forth with this, and it hasn't been passed yet, but let's say, you always
it's been proposed.
You always want to stay ahead. So it's like, what if they do propose and pass this? Then what's next?
Well, I don't really feel like this should go past like where it's at now, because the only argument he offered for it was it's not in the Constitution. Well, I mean, a lot of stuff is not in the Constitution. Like, the Constitution wasn't written when computers was around, but we had to come up with new laws for cybersecurity because, like, things change. Things evolve as new technologies is added or new requirements of the people are needed. You set up new establishments. So when the point that a board of education was needed, It was established, created, and didn't always operate above board, but it was created to meet a need.
Right.
That need is still here. Like, we still have people, still have kids who need to be educated, and right now kids are being educated on a higher level in some areas, and like, you can't just cut that out.
You can't, but it's like they're gonna keep on proposing things because we're in debt. So they're trying to find a way to alleviate this debt and something to stop paying for.
Sending money to other countries.
But they're not gonna do that. That's the crazy part. It's
not
like the
sending
things
it
that's
back.
necessary and that's common sense to us. Like, stop sending our money elsewhere and let's just focus here. They gonna think about everything but that.
We
like,
will
things that's
sell the
common
doors.
sense.
We will sell the walls. We
Let's
will
sell the
sell
White
the
House.
windows. We will sell the grass. We will sell everything just to make sure we look like we are helping the rest of the world.
Yeah,
and we
like
messed
faking
up.
it till we make it type of thing. Like, oh yeah, no, we can help you guys. Everything is good here. Don't believe the media.
Well, you
That's
seen that
what they
old
always
commercial
say.
that they had in Germany that Americans are starving. Please, please donate money to America.
No,
they
for real.
had commercials like we are in poverty.
Yeah.
The rest of the
You
world
know,
view us as in poverty, but we keep stunting.
It's a list going out right now of the top countries that you should live in. That you should live in.
Oh, we not on
America. No, we're on there, but we're definitely not in the top 20. I don't think that we're even in the top 50. To be honest,
Maybe
I
like
think
a
I
vacation
think it was
spot?
like 67 when it comes to like living
If
there.
you gotta go to America, I mean, it's okay. That's not cool. It's not a cool place to be. What's number one?
I want to say number one was it New Zealand? I want to say it was like New Zealand or something like that. If I'm not mistaken, I've just peeked at the list and I was like, wow, that's kind of crazy. That
Sweden.
oh, it was Sweden.
Sweden.
I
Sweden,
know.
number one in quality of life.
Well,
Number
you have it,
5
people.
in best countries overall.
Well, there you have it, guys. If you want to go somewhere, and it's crazy because we used to want to go to Canada, and right now
They're still number
Canada
3.
are in a state of emergency, and they have the right now to freeze up any bank account that they want to right now. So if you go against the government and you're protesting and they feel that it's unlawful, they have the right now to freeze their accounts, that's a lot of power
That
to
is
have. Like,
terrible.
that's basically saying if you piss me off, I'm taking your money, or I'm gonna just lock your money up and you ain't gonna be able to use it until you act right. You ain't gonna get your money back. And it's like, how can you?
It's not a good look. That
No,
is
it's
not a
not.
good look.
It's not.
Because, I mean, once you free somebody's account, it's pretty much downhill for how they act after that.
Yeah, you can't do something like that and then not expect me to react the way that I want to react because you got my money. But I guess the question would be like, how could you have a positive mindset at that point? Because I feel like if it started in Canada, how far away of an idea could that be for it happening in the United States? Because I mean, like a couple weeks ago, a lot of people that had Bank of America woke up and their money was gone out of their account, and
Why?
they said it was a glitch. They
Yeah,
said it was a
okay.
glitch with Zelle, and I think the people got their money back. But that day was crazy because it was like a lot of people were calling Bank of America. They wasn't answering the phone.
Oh, yeah.
It was like a lot going on.
You
It's
know what
like-
time? Oh, see, and then the bank be tripping on you when like, oh, you owe a couple dollars and you don't want to pick up the phone. This is our third attempt to call you, and you will answer your. No, bro, you don't even answer your phone. Hey, fam, where my money at?
And
Turn
that's
off the phones.
thing. Like, how do you be positive? How do you have a positive mindset in situations? I think it's like really dire that we figure out a way to be positive, because I feel like stuff like this is going to start hitting the fan, and it's going to be a lot of people that start to lose their mind. Like, honestly, like when you playing with people money, when you playing with people food, when you playing with people jobs, people start to lose it for real. Like, I started to lose it when I lost my job and unemployment was playing with me about my money,
Real.
and everything was hitting the fan. It was like hard to have a positive mindset. And it's like, realistically, like if it's happening to you, it's probably happening to thousands of people at the same time. So
Right.
it's not like just a you thing, but it's like, at what
all
point
you can
do
see
be
is
positive?
you. All you
Yeah.
can see is your situation, and all you can really feel close and personally is your situation. But the best way to find a positive mindset is to first know what is a positive mindset. And positive thinking is a mental and emotional attitude that focuses on the bright side of life. So it's like you expect positive results. So even when everything is hitting the fan, it's gonna get better. It's cool. At least I'm breathing. If I got 2 hands, 2 legs, I can make something happen. If I got 1 hand and 2 legs, I can make something happen. If I got no legs and 2 hands, I can make something happen.
And I be having a hard time with that, because it's like, although I'm up, like, I always tell myself, I don't think that I deserve the bare minimum. I deserve a lot more than that. So me just waking up sometimes, although I should be grateful, because being grateful is the best part of trying to have a positive mindset.
Right.
Sometimes I can't find that gratefulness, because to me sometimes, and I could be one of those people, and I don't want to say one of those people, but I think I am entitled in a way. And when I say entitled, it's like waking up is just not good enough in certain moments for me. And I think this is what God is like really trying to work with me on, because sometimes I really can't be entitled. Like, I literally be sitting there like, this ain't good enough. Like, and a thought will come to my head like, didn't you wake up? I said, yeah, but I mean, what else? Like, give me something else. But I think that's
so
a
where's
part of,
where's the what else supposed to come from?
Huh?
Where's the what else supposed to come from?
God, where my $1 million at? Like, where is the abundance?
Oh, he hooked you up. Like, he breathe, and you was like, you up. So like the what else is a you thing.
It is, and that's why I've been trying to really get over that entitlement, because when you think that you're owed something, when you think that this is supposed to pan out this way, it's hard to have a positive mindset when you're entitled.
Well, I believe that can be a positive also. Like, if you believe you're owed the world, and you match that with I'm going to get the world, and you are not just out here scamming people, but you are actually being
ambition,
positive,
though.
and you're going out and you working and you grinding to make it happen, because this is what you deserve. So you got to lay the framework for it. Because like right now, if $1 million dropped in your lap, like, you're going to blow a lot of it.
Listen, I ain't gonna say I'm gonna blow.
You gonna blow a lot of it.
But what I will say,
Meat won't be in Michigan no more for at least the next year.
sweetheart, you ain't gonna never.
It's gonna be like, boo.
Ever. I'm coming back to visit Michigan. I ain't never coming back.
See? That right there. Like, so, like, sometimes it don't just fall. The more don't fall into the lap because, like, you ain't got nowhere to put it yet.
That's true. That is true.
You got to build a safe, a vault, a foundation, so that when you get the more, you can keep the more.
I think it's just like with different people, because entitlement can work that way if you have that ambition, if you think but that's also like you already have some type of positive thinking at that point. But like the people that's in like a dark spot or like those little holes where
like
it just
cynics.
seemed like, it just seemed like, man, like I supposed to have this, and it's like you do it with an attitude. That type of entitlement. That's the one. That's the type of entitlement that I get. That's like, I'm supposed to have this, and and it's like kind of with like a nasty attitude, but it's like I've been working on that. I think a part of working on that is learning like to really be grateful and learn like to really understand that waking up another day is actually like a legit blessing.
Okay.
And I learned ways to kind of combat those negative things that I say.
Right.
And I think that really helps me when it comes to like trying to produce a positive mindset, which is not the easiest thing.
No, not
to
at all.
do.
Like, I tried to focus, like, everybody will say, all of my close personal friends say that I always see the lighter side of something. But there's a process to me getting to the lighter side. So, like, I go through the looking at it like, this is a terrible decision. And why would you do that? And seeing all of the worst possible outcomes for it. And then I go to the lighter side. I've been trying to be extremely on the lighter side this week. Emotional roller coaster. If you find a process for positivity, stick with that. Trying to be 100% positive is very difficult. Not saying that it's impossible, but very difficult. So I did go over and find a couple of steps that, helped me. But a lot of those things is what makes it so difficult.
Yeah.
Like, trying to be positive, you want to clear your mind of all of the negativity. But what if you run with a negative circle?
I think that naturally so, and I think it's because of the type of person that I am. I feel like you have to have a little tiny bit of negativity to have that positive mindset.
Balance.
Yeah, like it has to have some type of like yin yang type of thing.
Right.
But I think it's necessary. Because like if you don't have any type of negativity, like it doesn't push you like to be
You won't
positive.
be aware of negativity around you. Like,
Yeah.
what is positive if there is no negative?
Yeah, but it's like if there is no negativity, there is nothing pushing you to be positive.
Right.
There has to be something that pushes you to that positivity. Like nobody, and I'm not saying nobody, but it's not many people that I just want to be positive. Like a lot of people don't care about being positive. People just want to get through the day.
Right.
So it's like the only people that really are focused and keyed in on wanting to be positive is those people that experience the negative. You know?
Well, see, and this is the thing. When you see people who really have like positive traits, it's not really something that they try to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, one thing that they consider a positive trait is paying people compliments, even if you don't know them. You just walk by, and like a lot of women are able to do that to each other, but a lot of women don't, and a lot of people don't, and men more so. Like, most of the time, is not gonna pay a compliment to a random guy walking on the street. Oh, bro, that's fresh. Or something like that. That's awkward, man. Like, hey, where you get them from? That's about as good as the compliment get right there. Oh, I got them at the mall over there. Cool, bet.
See, I like doing stuff
Keep it
like
pushing.
that. But see, that's me. But see, I've also, and that's the thing, I like doing stuff like that only because I've been on the other side of that. I've been on the other side of like having a nice outfit on and being like, okay, does this look nice? And seeing somebody say, girl, that outfit is that.
Mm-hmm.
So I've experienced how that felt, and then I've also experienced how it felt
Yep,
to
you break
not
out the
look
cat
my belt.
noises and all that. You be gone.
I was.
You be
gonna-
feeling
I was.
yourself.
Yeah,
Yep.
I do.
You
You
be
know.
feeling yourself.
I be feeling myself, but it's like I remember those moments where I wasn't feeling myself.
Right.
I remember those moments where it was like, it was really hard and I felt like I looked like crap. It's been times where I went around family that didn't have no filters and be like, ooh, you look like you gained some weight, or you look like you tired. Like, and it's,
Of
it's
you?
like I've been on both spectrums of it. So it's like I've learned to just be positive. I learned how to compliment people because I know how it makes me feel. So it's like I want people to experience what I experience.
Right. Well, the number one way that you can be positive, and this is like one of the easiest and yet the most difficult things you can do to be positive, and that's smile. If you smile, that radiates positivity from you.
It does. It really does. I remember a lot of people used to say this. They used to say this years ago, but they used to always talk about. They were like, "How come it feels like when you walk past like white people, they give you this grin, like they smile at you?" And a lot of people used to take it as being weird, but it was like that smile. I learned how to start doing that. I learned how to just like when I'm walking
have
past
that.
people, I just like smile.
I don't have that.
You don't have that?
I don't have that at all.
I do.
I have a resting dead face, so it's like I walk
Oh
past
no,
people
my
and
resting face is lethal, but
it just don't move. Like, as a matter of fact, I can walk past people and they just not be there. It just. But I've been working on it. Like, it feels awkward to smile. Like, have you ever smiled and it felt like your face was falling apart?
yeah.
Like, oh, what the hell is this?
Listen, being a woman, sometimes if your makeup is too thick on and you smile, it feel like your face has cracked open, like because the makeup is so thick. I've had moments like that a lot.
Yeah, that's not a good look there for real, for real. Like, if I see somebody with that much makeup on, I am going to be that no filter person. Hey, yo, meat, your face falling off, bro. What's happening?
See, I
Oh,
cry.
be able to laugh. That is another one. Laugh therapy has been taken up everywhere now. It's becoming more and more popular. Being able to laugh, they've found it does increase the positivity in a person. So
It does.
just having laughs, listening to Dave Chappelle or just sitting at the window and laughing at the people that walks by. It may feel cruel, it may look like you being mean, but it actually produces positive energy.
You know what?
Because
It
if they don't
does.
know what you said and they just see you laughing,
They'll laugh.
first they'll feel awkward, but then they see like if something really tickles you and you got like tears in your eyes, there's very few people who can sit around you and not laugh too. It just makes people feel good. Laughing is infectious.
It is. I seen this one exercise that was done, and I actually use it sometimes, like when I have a if I'm feeling like I got a bad attitude, or if I feel like I'm upset and I want to kind of like pump up the energy and be positive. So okay, copy off what I do. Okay, just copy me. That's it, and you're gonna understand what I
I'm
mean.
very concerned.
No. Look, just okay.
All right,
Watch
all right.
this. Okay, ha
Ha
ha ha
ha ha
ha ha ha.
ha ha ha.
Ha 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 ha. See what I'm saying? And this lady said, no matter like how upset you are, if you keep going up, like you start with one ha, two ha,
It
three
gets
ha, it hits you after. It usually
And the
hits me
study
about like
did
5
show,
or 6.
even fake laughter
Yeah.
produces positive emotions. So hey, fake it till you make it.
No, I mean it really does work. I've used it in many scenarios. Another thing that you want to also work on is, we talked about it before, but being optimistic. Being optimistic, it can be hard, especially if you're pessimistic. Which I find myself sometimes like sometimes I can't see the cup as half full. Sometimes I be at the reality point of it that the cup is just at the halfway mark. And that's just the way that I see it sometimes, so I can't use that analogy for myself. But
Well, if it's not half empty, you're doing good.
yeah. But since I'm so realistic, I'm just like, okay, well, it's at the halfway mark. No matter how you put it, it's there. But what helps me is, I think of it this way: if you're outside, right, and it's a cloudy day outside, and the sun ain't really shining, maybe it just got done raining or something like that, but it's a really cloudy day. But throughout the clouds, there's certain spots where the sunshine is coming down, and that sunshine that's coming down illuminates the possibility. It gives you hope in challenging situations. So I look at it that way, that although the sun is not shining, so that means like, okay, let's say maybe this is a crappy day, you know what I'm saying? But I find one little thing, one little speck out of this day that maybe went right for me, and it gives me just that little tiny bit of hope that'll say, okay, well, you know what, it can get better. Maybe I did this wrong. I always try to analyze the whole thing because I'm like one of those people, but that helps me get into a positive mindset that like, although maybe it's not sunshine outside, but I see a little bit of sun, so that's good enough.
Right. And another thing, positivity, it does have health benefits.
Yeah.
It actually helps your body fight off disease and things like that, because like stress can kill you.
Mm-hmm.
Stress will really kill you. So stress and negativity go hand in hand. Being able to find some kind of positive and peaceful space in your day can benefit you greatly. Even if that peaceful space is taking your phone and throwing it out the window. Hey, maybe nobody in your phone got what you need for the day, and talking to them is just gonna bring you down. So sometimes you gotta pour into yourself.
Yeah.
Be selfish, or be selfless with yourself. Sometimes putting yourself first will help you be in a better position to help everybody else.
Yep, that is good, because it's like, I always look at it, because I'm a visual person as well, is that if you don't pour into yourself and you keep on pouring into everyone else, when you look at your cup again, it's nothing going to be in your cup. You ain't going to have a reason to be optimistic, because you ain't going to have a half full cup. It ain't even going to be half empty. So it's always good to be selfish. Like, start with yourself first, because you're no good if you don't have what you need to pour into the next person.
Right.
You can't give everyone yeses and then not have a yes for yourself.
And it's very rare to find a circle full of people like that. Because if you have a circle of people like that, then it's easy to pour yourself into someone else's cup because they're at the same time they're pouring into your cup.
Right.
And like y'all working in a circle, y'all working together, and y'all keep a good energy amongst yourselves. But it's always that one. Keep drinking their cup. And you're like, hey bro, like, what you doing? When you find people like that,
you said free refills, like
look, you find somebody like that, sometimes you got to cut off the water.
yeah. I mean, it's all about, honestly, it's all about being mindful and just knowing who you are as a person. Like if you know that you're a person that overthinks or you overdo things or you overly help people, you have to find a balance.
And right,
like,
we said that before too.
Yeah, we have said that
Knowing
before.
yourself helps tremendously.
Yeah.
Because you know what your weaknesses are.
Yep, you know what you need to overcome. You know what you need to work on. And let's say you don't know everything that you need to work on. You know what trigger you. You
Right.
know what pisses you off. You know, like when you driving sometimes and somebody cuts you off, like that really pisses you off. You know what gets you to that line.
Your eye twitched a little bit with that
Listen,
one. Like
I'm
that,
trying to tell you, it makes me so mad.
that's your
I don't
thing.
even need to
All right.
drive no more. But I tell people all the time, like, although I can give you advice, the best advice that you can give yourself is knowing yourself. Because just because I say, hey, write down some things about gratitude and what you're thankful for, maybe you're a person that don't like to write. Like you
Right.
have to find things that's suitable for your lifestyle instead of letting people tell you or reading these books that says these are the 12 steps of being positive. It's never gonna work if it's not catered to you.
and that's the thing. The majority of us can give advice from a single point of view,
Yeah.
the way we see it.
Yeah.
So it's like all of the life experiences that I had up to now allows me to give advice from this point of view. But somebody living a different life may have a different point of view. There are very few people who can give you a non-biased point of view to anything that you're asking. Very few. I know one of those people, but they're few and far in between. So unless it's one of those kind of people who can give you strictly unbiased advice, who can take in the information from your situation and give you a real answer, it can't, like everybody's advice just won't work all the time. So knowing yourself sets you up to be in a better position.
It does.
And then eating better. What you put in is what you get out. And if you eat horrible, then sometimes you feel horrible. And horrible people, or what they say all the time, hurt people hurt people.
Yep.
So if you feel horrible, then you give off horrible vibes and you don't want to be bothered. And people who talk to you are irritating. And it propels itself. It becomes a snowball.
That is true.
So you want to eliminate those negative emotions completely by paying attention to what you put in your body, keeping your environment clean, and keeping your mind clear is possible.
I say, and I think I probably like a lot of the things that I say are repetitive because I like to drill things in because it's like really important. Like you can hear things, but you can't like really understand what a person is saying. You only have one mouth. You have two ears. Use your ears. Listen to what people are saying around you. And be careful to speak. Like a lot of the people that don't speak as much and they just listen, those people be very smart. And sometimes those people will be a lot happier because sometimes when you don't speak and you don't like kind of like express certain things or say certain things in certain conversations, it could save you like a headache. Because sometimes like we talk too much, we get in conversations, certain conversations, like being around people that constantly gossip, I don't like to talk around that. You know, I like to kind of walk away for a second and then maybe come back because sometimes you give your opinion or you talk or something like that.
They're going to tell your business too.
Yeah, they will tell your business, but you are like kind of keeping something going that's not positive.
Right.
You know
Absolutely.
what I'm saying? So it's kind of like just listening sometimes and really paying attention to what people are saying and what you're hearing could also help you be more positive because you are digesting a lot more. But when you're doing that, you have to be careful about your surroundings. You got to be careful about the people
Absolutely.
that, you know, you with. We always say that a lot, but it's kind of like the people that you surround yourself with is how your future may end up because those people are going to pull you and sway you in certain directions. And if those directions are not where you're supposed to be in life, you're going to look up and you're not going to be in the path that you're supposed to be in because you was around the wrong people, because you wasn't listening and paying attention, and they was telling you that they're not going down the same path as
Right.
you. So it's like,
Oh, and they give you like clear indicators.
they do. They
Say
really
you're
do.
gonna do something really positive and you got it in your mind that this is what you want to do, and they will tell you that that ain't nothing you need to be doing, or that's not possible.
Or it's stupid. They'll tell you, oh, you reaching way too high. You doing way too much. Like, they'll tell you.
Look at the
certain
brain
things like
on
that.
you.
Yeah, and it's kind of like you'll try to keep that same positive mindset, like, oh yeah, watch, just watch. But it's like people like that can drain you,
Really?
and they can really like. I think a lot of people are using the word harvest your energy. People will harvest your positive energy, so you gotta be careful of who you're around, but also just be mindful. Always listen. Always use your 2 ears instead of using. And this one lady said, "Why do you think that you have 2 ears? You have 1 mouth." And I thought about it.
Just
I'm
means
like,
I need to talk louder.
No, but I thought about it and I was like, that kind of makes a lot of sense.
Really?
It do. And then a lot of things, I say a lot, but using your affirmations, telling yourself like what you can do, what you will
Facts.
do, and always using the I am, I can, and getting the I can't
Speak it
or
into
can't out of your
into fruition.
vocabulary.
You gotta speak it up.
Yep.
And just more than affirmations, you gotta really see what you're saying. You gotta visualize it. You gotta put it in your mind as a possibility or a tangible thought. Because more than just saying it, like some people just wake up, they say affirmations, but they put no emotion behind it. They can't actually see it. They don't see how it's possible. They're looking for the process to make it happen, but they're saying it, but you can't really see how could I accomplish this.
Yeah.
You can't imagine it. If you can't do that, the law of attraction won't initiate, because hey, you have to be able to see this.
Yeah.
You have to know that it's already done, and I just gotta, do a couple steps, and I'm there. I got it. I see it. I got the mansion on the hill. I can go ahead and build a wall of positivity around me, a literal wall that stops negativity from coming in, anything. But you have to be able to see that.
Yep, it's kind of like the same thing that they say in the Bible. Faith without works is completely dead.
Facts.
Like if you don't believe it, and I think I always have an issue with that because I like tangible things. I need to see it, but it's like at some point, like you're not gonna see everything. It's just not gonna
Right.
happen that way.
Right.
And most of the time when we're producing something, we first produce it in our thoughts. Before you build a house, they don't just be like, all right, y'all, tomorrow we're gonna build this house. No, they build a blueprint. The blueprint is on a piece of paper, but it starts in somebody's mind.
Right.
They start off thinking about, well, I think that we should have the kitchen on the first floor and put the kitchen next to this and that. And I think that we should do, they start off thinking of what they want. So it's like everything that is producible always starts in your mind. So it's kind of like you gotta really,
Oh, what did he say on Atlanta? Everything's made up.
yeah,
Everything's
is
really
up.
made up.
It really is. So it's like you gotta really, I call it challenging like negative thoughts. Like whenever I have a negative thought and I be like, I can't do this, I always be like, you know what? Instead of believing it, why can't I do that? Maybe I don't have this skill right now, but why can't I just learn this skill? Why can't I just improve this skill? It's not a I can't. It's just that I need to challenge it and say, maybe I need to learn how to do this.
Well, see, what I have been stepping away from is, putting all of the effort or focus on me being able to do it. I want to understand it so that I know that if I find somebody who can do it at a high level and which I want to accomplish, I will know the difference between the qualities. And that right there has been a big help, because sometimes it's inconvenient for you to learn it or learn how to do it. But if you can recognize somebody who can do it well versus somebody who just says they can do it, I mean, that could set you up for extreme success, because you can reach out to somebody who does it well, get it done to your specifications, and it keeps the stress off of you. The whole goal in life right now is to keep stress away from you.
No, for real.
And like, it's enough going on to you can find stress walking out the door. Like,
Listen, I'm
You-
about to say you can find stress
Stepping
by
out the bed.
I'm about to say just opening your phone, like, and I think this is just the beginning. Like that's why being this positive mindset episode is like really important, because this is only February.
Right.
We done had almost 10 derailments. Our
Right.
water isn't good. We shouldn't be
We're
in the
going broke.
rain. We're going broke. Everything.
Our
and it's
neighbors
only
is
February.
robbing they people.
Man, listen, I'm about to say Canada is freezing accounts. It's only, so much time that it'll start, getting bigger and
Right.
bigger. So it's like in the midst of the calamity that's happening on the earth, you have to find a way to be positive, a way to set yourself up for a
Be
positive.
a ray of sun.
Huh?
You had to find a way to be a ray of sunlight.
Yeah. It's only gonna get harder. So it's like I always try to keep a visualization of just something that makes me happy. Like I always try to keep something around that makes me happy, and I always try to do at least one thing that can boost my positivity, boost something. I light a candle. Candles make me happy. So I light a candle sometimes. I find certain things. Yeah, I just find certain things like when I know that I'm upset or something, I find certain ways to kind of pull some positivity in me, because you're not going to always have people that's going to motivate you. Like, it's not going to always be that way. You're going to have to find a way to encourage yourself. You're going to have to find a way to get yourself to be in a positive state and to continue on, because things are going to get crazy.
And you gonna have you for the rest of your life. So
You are going to have
like,
you. And then also you may have to help somebody else. And the only way to be able to help them is you're going to need some positivity for yourself, because you can't give away all your positivity and then not have something for yourself.
Yeah, that's a big problem. That is a big problem. But I feel like we really did lay on top of this creating positivity.
Yeah, we hit on a lot of stuff when it comes to positivity. The most thing is just cater to what actually helps you.
Right. Knowing self.
Yeah.
Know yourself. That is the number one thing. The faster you learn even if you don't learn what makes you feel better, find out what makes you feel bad.
Yep.
Just by staying away from those things, you've already taken a step to feeling better.
Yep. And then focus on the solution instead of the problem. Like, the problem is going to, be there until you find a solution. So maybe focus on the solution. I always start with the end in mind. Like, if I know I want a house, then I'm going to start, at the beginning, but I'm going to keep that end goal in mind of what I want. And it's helpful in a way.
Yeah, it definitely is. But this was an excellent show.
Yeah, no, this is awesome. You know what I wanted to hit on though? Did you know next year Canada, they have this bill that they're gonna be helping people commit suicide.
What?
Yeah, it's a lot. Go ahead and
Hold
tap
on,
into
bro.
that. Yeah, tap into it. It's like really, really, really crazy. Only because it's like this is not our life to be taking, but I can understand, because I've been at the suicidal point and I work for a crisis line, so I understand how it feels to be on edge. But to assist people with suicide, it takes it a lot further. Yeah, because it's like a lot of people, what happens when people are on edge, because sometimes we all get on edge and you think about those things. Some people think about suicide. What happens if you change your mind and it's too late to change your mind at this point, because you done already injected yourself or whatever they're going to be doing in this program? It's kind of like counterproductive, but that's beside the point. But that's the reason why we need to work on our positivity, because in moments there are going to be low moments in life.
Yes.
And you're going to have to learn how to pull yourself up, because
How
you
to
won't
navigate
always have people. Yeah, you won't always have people that's going to be able to help you, and then you won't have people that's going to tell you the things that you really may need to hear. So it's like keeping the work going for that positive mindset is going to help you. And like I said before, start 1% a day. You ain't got to do a lot. You ain't got to say, okay, today I'm not going to say anything negative. No, start low and then work your way up. Like, I think people start doing too much. And
just throw a smile in.
I was
throw one smile in a day.
One smile, and then maybe for an hour, maybe say, okay, I'm gonna give myself 15 minutes, no negative this, no nothing. I'm gonna just be happy. I'm gonna listen to my favorite playlist while I clean up something. Just keep it on the up and up.
Pay yourself a compliment and pay a friend a compliment.
Yep, because
There
I
you
look
go.
good. That's what I be telling myself. I look good.
Okay.
I be in the mirror. You gotta, geek yourself up. I'm paid. I'm rich. I am Joanne the scammer, and I
feel
like
you.
scams.
I feel you. Wait.
But no, this has been a great show. I don't think I have anything else to say. I'm kind of hungry. I can go for like I don't know what I want to eat today, but I can go for like some chili cheese fries. I ain't had no chili cheese fries.
Oh, that's
in a bit.
counterproductive.
It really is, but I done had a good week at the gym. I'm really, really sore. I haven't had a
deserve
cheat
this.
day yet. Huh?
You deserve this.
Yeah, I definitely deserve
feel
this. And I got a cheesecake waiting for me, so I'm ready to bust the move.
I just tried that crumble cookie.
Did you? How was it? Oh, man.
I hurt myself.
Aw.
I definitely hurt myself. Definitely was not a good outcome.
Oh,
I was like a
you
beach
got it.
whale.
Not a beach whale.
Yeah, I couldn't move. I could not move.
That's how I want to feel. Well, let's wrap this up. Hey, y'all, this has been a great show. This has been a Talk Pit. My name is Mika.
And I'm Rick.
We out of here.
Peace.